Hello YouTube world, my name is Lauren and welcome to my channel. Today I am working on my reading journal entry for The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hoang. I had seen a lot of good reviews for this book, but honestly I had no idea how much I would love it. If you hadn't heard of this book before, it is about a woman named Stella Lane, who is an incredibly smart econometrician, and she is also autistic. She is 30 years old, and so, of course, stereotypically, her mother is pressuring her to date and get married. Like for any woman, that pressure stresses Stella out, but it's even worse for Stella because of her autism, because she knows she doesn't handle social situations well, let alone romantic situations. So she decides she needs to learn and practice being intimate with men, but of course meeting men naturally would take too long and the results way too unpredictable. So she decides to hire a male escort. Kind of ridiculous, sure, but it's also kind of logical too. When you see it from her point of view, she has the money and wants to learn how to have sex well, so why not hire a professional? Yeah. Anyway, the escort she is matched with is Michael Larson, but he also goes by Michael Fan because Fan is his mother's maiden name. Now, of course, Michael has his own issues and trauma, which is how he ended up in the escort business in the first place. But I don't really want to spoil anything further. So, at first, I was a little skeptical on whether I'd like this book because I hear the words male escort or gigolo and immediately think this is going to be one of those smutty books that focuses way more on the sex scenes rather than the storyline itself. And don't get me wrong, those books have their fan base and provide a certain level of escapism, but I would not categorize The Kiss Quotient as smut in any way. Now, there is on-page sex, so if that's not your style, then you might not like this book, but there is so much more to this book than just the bedroom chemistry between Stella and Michael. The book is sweet, and there are some really raw and innocent moments that just honestly pull at your heartstrings. I really loved that this book featured a main character on the spectrum because I think it was able to perfectly capture what it is like living with autism, but show it to us in a way that makes the readers really empathize with the character and entertain us at the same time. And it also shows us that not all autistic people are the same, and it's not always obvious when someone has autism. Most are able to live completely normal lives, and people just think that they're a little quirky. Now, I should mention the fact that I read that the author, Helen Hoang, was diagnosed with autism as well as her daughter too, so it makes sense why she is able to capture autism so well. In fact, Helen has written two other books in this series, which I believe have autistic main characters. I haven't read them yet, so I'm not 100% sure, but the two other books are The Bride Test and The Heart Principle. I believe they are standalones, so you don't have to read any of these books in order, but personally, I like reading books in order, so I'll probably be reading The Bride Test really soon. Okay, so to explain my reading journal entry, I obviously have the title and author at the top, and on the left I have a punching bag because Michael in his spare time works out a lot. I drew the Vietnam flag in the center because Michael and his family are Vietnamese. On the top right, I drew mint chocolate chip ice cream because mint chocolate chip is Stella's favorite ice cream flavor, and there is also a really cute scene at an ice cream shop in the book. Below the flag, I have a needle and thread for Michael because he's actually a full-time tailor at his mother's shop. And then I have a bar graph chart to represent Stella's job as an econometrician. And then on the left, the bottom left, I drew a pair of red boxers because in the book there's a quote that says, "Women buy underwear for the men they love," and it's honestly an iconic quote of this book. I didn't include the quote itself on my reading journal entry page because the boxers kind of represent the quote. And also, my actual favorite quote from the book is a thought from Stella in chapter 17 that says, "She would need therapy if she had to do work she detested all day, every week." And I love this quote because I think most people in the world, especially those who work in the corporate business world, like myself, um, question our job choice all the time, wondering, why am I doing this? This isn't fun. Work is annoying. People at work are annoying. And honestly, I think we do all need therapy to help figure out why we keep torturing ourselves by going to work and doing a job that we're not enjoying. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent here. So back to Stella. I love her honest and innocent viewpoint here, and it helps remind me that I need to find some joy in what I do, or I shouldn't be doing it. So for me, I categorize the genre of this book as a contemporary romance. I also call this a contemporary Asian romance, not because people of non-Asian descent can't enjoy this book, but because I like to keep track of the books that represent Asian main characters. Some other details of this book that I like to highlight is that this book is in third person and follows the main characters fairly equally. Obviously, as I pointed out earlier, a theme of this book is autism or Asperger's syndrome. There is a bit of a fake dating trope, and Stella is also painted as a bit of a quirky girl because of her autism. And lastly, Stella has money, and Michael is in need of money, so this book also kind of follows a rich girl, poor boy trope. So, if you couldn't tell, I really love this book, and I gave it an overall 5 out of 5 stars. For a book boyfriend rating, I give Michael 4.5 stars. I knocked off half a star because personally I wished he had realized Stella's condition sooner and helped her out more earlier in the story, but I also get why that wouldn't have made for as interesting of a story, so I get it. But anyway, let me know if you agree with my review in the comments section below, and let me know what you think of my reading journal. Honestly, this wasn't my best work. I probably should have colored in the punching bag and boxers first and then wrote over the red coloring, but oh well. You can see more of my other reading journal entries before this one on my Instagram page at Lauren_can_, but I'll link it in the description below. And if you liked this video, I'd appreciate it so much if you could like and subscribe and stay tuned for my future book reviews. Alright, bye!